Hi David, Steve from SewingGold.com. So your bobbin case is slightly different than ours here, but it's the same principle. So your bobbin case is actually stuck because there's either thread or a needle caught in between this hook basket. So the basket here, this is going to spin. Okay, yeah, it's going to stop when it hits this, but that's not the point. The point is yours keeps revolving around. So when you turn, it's supposed to move separately. So if I hold this in place, it's going to revolve around it. Okay? Now yours is getting stuck somewhere. Okay? Now, the other thing I was mentioning when you were here is this piece right there. You have it also. Let me turn it so you can see it. Hang on one second. I'm going to grab that phone. Okay, sorry about that. So, this piece, you have to make sure this piece goes inside where your plate is. So if I grab the plate, I'm going to show you the plate here. On your plate, it's got this little cutout here. Okay, so this goes inside here. So when I put the plate back, I have to make sure that I line that piece up. Let me get the thread out of here. Okay. Got to make sure this piece goes inside this piece on the plate. So I'm going to put the plate back, making sure that that piece lines up. So this piece is inside the plate. And then when I turn it, I'm going to hold this so I didn't screw it in. Then it stays in place and it revolves around. Now, if yours is not revolving when you do that, that means you have something jammed in there. Like I said, either a thread caught in between, which I'm going to show you how to take this apart, or a broken needle. All right? So when I take this piece back off, make sure you magnetize your screwdriver. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove these screws. Looks like mine only has 2 screws. I don't know if there was a screw there. Interesting. So we're going to remove those 2 screws. Okay, so I'm going to pause this while I do it, because my hands are going to be in the way the whole time. Hang on one second. Okay, once I remove those 2 screws, as you can see I've done, I'm going to loosen this screw ever so slightly. The screw right here, I don't know if you could see it in the video. Yep, you could see it. Okay, so I'm going to loosen this. I'm not going to take it out. I'm just going to loosen it. Once I loosen it, that piece frees up. Okay, and then I could pull it off. All right. Now it's exposed the hook basket. So now I'm going to try and, unfortunately my hands are in the way. I'm going to wiggle this out of here. So if yours is jammed, you may have to lubricate it a little bit to get the thread out of there. But you want to get this piece out, and you got to get it in the right position to take it out. I obviously should have had Alberto Jose do this because I am not the best at this. All right, sorry it took so long. Like I said, if Jose or Alberto did this, it would be much easier. So now I've got this out, okay? So if I did have a thread caught in there, it's going to be caught in that channel, okay? So the channel here, there'd be thread or a needle. That's why it would lock together, okay? So once you have that out, just put it back together, go in reverse, put it back together, and make sure the plate goes on exactly the way I told you. So this piece on the hook basket or the bobbin case, okay, you have a bobbin cap on yours, so it's slightly different, but your hook basket like this piece is going to go inside that piece on the plate. Make sure that happens, and then you'll be able to put it back together and you should be good to go. All right, if you have any questions, just leave a message down below. David, you have my email, or call me if you still need help. Okay, hope this helps someone else. Sorry it took so long to get the hook basket out. Like I said, I'm not the mechanic. but hopefully this explains how to take this apart and how to put it back. Okay, thank you. Okay, you know what, I also want to show you how to put it back in. It's easier to put back in for me than it is for me to take it out. Sorry. So the video is not over. So when you put it back in, you want to put it like this position where, I don't know if you can see that right there, that little open spot. Put it down. It's almost going to click back in. Okay, see, much easier to put it back in than to take it out. Okay, and then I'm going to put these 2 screws back. Okay, the screws that I talked about. Make sure you have a magnet, magnetize the tip of your screwdriver. Okay, I'm going to put those 2 screws back, but actually let me do this first. Ever so slightly tighten this 1 screw here. Okay, I'm going to pause it and I'm going to put those 2 screws back. Okay, I've got my screws back in. I just want to make sure all of them are nice and tight. So excuse my hand. And that last one, come back around. This screw, that was the one that made it pivot. Make sure that's super tight. Okay, and now, just to show you one more time, where is my plate? Here we go. Making sure, I'm going to point to it again, that this piece here goes inside here. Okay? Okay. Now I'm going to put the 2 screws on to hold the plate, put everything back together, and we're good to go. All right. Now I am officially done. If you have any questions, like I said, please leave them down below, comments. If you have a better way of doing it, especially putting it back, I'm going to talk to Alberto and Jose. Maybe they have a better way of, I'm sorry, taking it out, not putting it. Putting back's pretty easy. Taking it out seems to be the tricky part for us beginners like me. Questions or comments below. Thanks. I'm Steve from SewingGold.com. Thanks.